Yes. Good afternoon, children. Hope you all are doing well. So in today's session, we are going to see the continuation version of our last class. That is water resources. So in the last session, what are the concepts we have learned, children? Can you people recall those things? Yes, very good. That is, water cycle and then the causes of water scarcity. So in today's class, we'll be seeing about the measures are what we have to take to conserve the water. That is, see here, need to conserve and manage water resources. Yes, it is, very much necessary to conserve and manage the water resources. But how can we do that? Let us see today. Okay. Yes. Archaeological and historical record. According to archaeology and the historical record, water management and conservation has been started since from ancient time. So in our ancient time only, this water management and the conservation was there. Okay. During the time, canals and dams were also constructed. At the ancient time only, we can see that they had constructed this canals and even the dams. Okay, children, see. Hydraulic structure in ancient India. So in ancient India only, we can see this hydraulic structure was exist. See here. In the 1st century before Christ at Sringaverapur, water harvesting system was existed using the flood water from Ganga river. So in the 1st century only, you could have seen that the water harvesting system was existed. During the time of Chandragupta Maurya, dams, lakes, etc. were built. So at the time of Chandragupta Maurya only, we could have seen that dams and lakes were built. See, irrigation system was found in Kalinga, Nagarjunakonda, Bennur and Kolhapur. So the irrigation system was also found at that ancient time only. In 11th century, Bhopal Lake was built. In the 11th century, Bhopal Lake was built. In the 14th century, it is constructed a tank in Hoskas, that is in Delhi. So this is all about our ancient India, children. Okay, let us see the next. See here, the water harvesting in ancient India. So how they were doing the water harvesting, and then we can see the water conservation measures also. See. So from our ancient India, the continuation of traditional way in modern India by building dams in the most of the river basins. So the continuation was done from the ancient India. They started to build even the build some dams, building some dams in the most of the river basins. Okay, they started to build the dams as like a traditional way even in the modern India also. See. So dams, we even call it as a multi-purpose projects. Okay, children, we call it as, the dams are also even call it as, yes, multi-purpose projects. Why? Because in the ancient time, they were using these dams only for the irrigation or the agricultural purpose. But now at present, we can see the dams built for the multi-purpose. It may be for electricity, or it may be for agriculture, it may be for, the many other sources or many other purpose we have built. See, traditionally built to impound water and rain harvest that could use later to irrigate agricultural fields. So only with the agricultural purpose they were building the dams, but at present dams are built for multi-purpose usage. Therefore, it is also known as a multi-purpose project. So you people understood why we call dams as a multi-purpose projects. Okay, let's move on, children. See here. What is dam? What is the meaning of a dam? See here. It is a barrier across flowing water that obstructs, directs the flow, often creating a reservoir, lake or impoundment. So here we can see it is like a barrier for the flowing of water that will be obstructing that directs the flow of water where it has to flow the water. It creates a reservoir. So that we'll call it as a dam. Okay children, hope you all understood, right? It's very much important. You have to remember the meaning of dam. Yes. Classification of dams. How do we classify the dams? So we classify the dams based on their structure or the materials which we have used and the height. Okay children, let us see here. Dams are classified according to the structure, indented, purpose or height. So whatever according to the structure we'll be dividing, our indented purpose, based on the purpose also we'll be dividing, or based on the height we can divide the dams. See, based on the structure and the material used, so we can divide the dams. According to height, dams can be categorized as large dams and major dams. So we can classify as a large dams or major dams, or even we can classify that low dams, mediums, high dams or high dams. Okay children, hope you people understood about the classification of dams based on structure or the purpose or height. Okay. Yes. So we understood dams, we even call it as a multi-purpose project. So what are the use of these dams or multi-purpose projects? So as we know that, at present we are using the dams for many reasons. See here, it may be for electricity generation, it may be for flood control, water supply, irrigation, and it helps to promote the tourism. So these are all the uses of multi-purpose project. So it helps us for the electricity generation. It helps us for the flood control. If it's any high flood, it will be help for the controlling of that flood, and water supply, and then agricultural purpose, and then it will help for the tourism also, inland tourism. Understand? So after India's independence, dam is considered as the one which lead the nation to development and the progress. So after India got independence, we started to believe, or we considered dams are, they are going to help for the country for the development and the progress, because we all know, we already know that India is a agricultural country. So what happens at this time? So if this dams are helping for the agriculture or the irrigation, it will help for the rural development, and then it will help for the industrialization. Industries also will start building, and then it will help for the urbanization also. So with that idea, we can see the uses of dams. In the next, we can see some dams of India. So we can see few dams examples they are giving here. The Bhakra Nangal project on Satluj Basin uses both for tidal power production and irrigation. So we've seen that uses of multi-purpose project, that is dams, for the different purpose. So here we can see that Bhakra Nangal project for the both the reasons, that is for agriculture and even for the electricity production. See, Hirakud project on Mahanadi Basin integrates the conservation of water with flood control. So it will help for the flood control along with the water conservation. Okay children, hope you people understood, right? These are few dams we can see in India for the multi-purpose usage. Okay. Yes. So here we can see that, see here, Jawaharlal Nehru proudly proclaimed the dams as the temples of modern India. So what he has told? He has told that temples of modern India. The dams are temples of modern India because, see here, integrate the development of agriculture and the village economy with the rapid industrialization and growth of the urban economy. So here, as I told you people, what happens here? It will help for the development of the agriculture, and then it will help for if the agriculture is developing, of course, the village economy will increase. Yes or no children? So for farmers, if they start growing more and more, of course their economy, the status will increase. So with the rapid industrialization, that will help for the industrialization and growth of the urban economy. So hope you guys understood, right? According to Jawaharlal Nehru, dams are temples of the modern India. Okay, children? Yes. See. So we understood what are the uses of dams. So here we are going to see about few drawbacks, that is the disadvantages of dams. Okay. The first one, it is affect the natural flow of rivers. So this is a common one. When we are building a dam, of course it will not allow rivers for the natural flow. Okay, so here we can see the picture of that. The rivers will not be having chance to, natural flow wherever they can move. Understand, children? And then the first one you people understood, right? That is affect the natural flow of rivers. And then dams also fragment rivers, making difficult for aquatic fauna to the migrate, especially for farming. So finally what happens here, there is no it is very difficult for the aquatic animals or aquatic fauna to migrate. They cannot move from so one river to another, they cannot flow. So that will also be one of the problem. Degradation of forests and soils due to submergence during the floods. So what happens? So once forest degradation will be there, soil degradation will be there due to the the submergence of during the flood time, it will be causing. And then irrigation pattern have changed. So the cropping pattern has changed from subsistence farming to intensive farming, which has resulted in ecological imbalance and salination of the soil. Dams have of the soil. So here what happened? The pattern of irrigation has been changed. Okay, children. So whatever the cropping pattern has been changed. So that is also one of the drawbacks. So what happens? It will be resulting in a ecological imbalance. Along with that, salination of soil. The soil fertility will be reduced, and dams have of the soil. And then it also cause earthquakes, waterborne diseases, and pest and pollution resulting from excessive use of water. So finally what happened? Even it will also cause the earthquake, waterborne diseases, and pest and pollution resulting from excessive use of water. So if we start using that water excessively, of course it will start resulting in pollution. Okay, children. So we also see that in the causes of water scarcity. Okay, children. The next one, it is dams have created conflicts among the people who want different uses of the water available from the project. So for example, we can see that Narmada Bachao Andolan, Theri Dam Andolan. So here what happens, children? Once if they want to build any of a dam, what happens? They'll be in the need of large quantity of land. So once if they want to clear that land, of course many agriculture people, that is the farmers, has to leave that land and leave the place, and they have to move to the other place. Understand? So who will be getting the the use from this? Only the landlords and the industrial people. The landless and the poor people will not be getting any help out of this. So that is the reason they have started like a Narmada Bachao Andolan and all those things. Okay, children. So these are all the disadvantages we can see because of multi-purpose projects or dams. Okay, hope you people understood the benefits and the drawbacks of multi-purpose projects or dams. And we'll move to the next, that is dams in India. Guys, It is there in your textbook also. Go through this properly.